திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். புழியர்கோன் எப்பொழித்த புகழியர்கோன் கடல் போற்றி, ஆழிமிசை கல்முதப்பில் அணைந்த பிரான் அடி போற்றி, வாழி திருநாவலூர் வன்றொண்டர் பதம் போற்றி, ஊழிமலி திருவாத ஊரர் திருத்தாள் போற்றி. திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். So today we are continuing our discussion on Thirunavukkarasar's thevaram, 6th Tirumurai, padhigam number 98, which is commonly known as maṟumāṭrat tiruttāṇḍagam, which is the padhigam which he sang in response to the king's ministers and soldiers who came to arrest him. So we have seen the first song in the last session. So today we will continue from the second song. So you should have the verses files. So if you can follow after me, then we can go through song number 2 and then discuss the meaning. agaliḍamē idamāga ūrgaḻ tōṟum aṭṭu uṇbār iṭṭu uṇbār vilakkār aiyam pugaliḍamāம் ambalaṅgaḻ būmi dēvi uḍaṉ kiḍandāl puraṭṭāḻ பொய்யன்று meyyē இகலுடைய விடை உடையான் என்று கொண்டான் இனி ஏதும் குறைவு allōm இடர்கள் தீர்ந்தோம் துகில் உடுத்து பொன் பூண்டு திரிவார் சொல்லும் சொல் கேட்கக் கடவோமோ துரிசு அற்றோமே. Good. So as we saw in the last session, this is king as Jain monks have gone to the Pallava king and complained about Thirunavukkarasar, saying that he faked his illness, went back to his sister, became a Shiva devotee, and now he is disparaging Jainism. So he has done a lot of misdeeds, so he should be punished. And the king is also a Jain, and he listens to them and he believes in their story and sends his minister and some soldiers to Thiruvadigai, where Thirunavukkarasar is currently staying, to go there, arrest him and bring him back to the royal court so that he can be punished. So the ministers and the soldiers come to Thiruvadigai and tell Thirunavukkarasar the king's order. And Thirunavukkarasar replies saying that I have not done anything wrong, and I am a servant of Shiva, and I don't have to listen to the orders of your king. That is a gist of his response. So basically he is disobeying king's orders, saying that these are unjust, I am not going to come. And the whole padhigam describing his defiance. And in the second song, the same theme is elaborated further. agaliḍamē idamāga ūrgaḻ tōṟum aṭṭu uṇbār iṭṭu uṇbār vilakkār aiyam. So that is one important phrase. What he is saying is that agaliḍam idam means place, agaliḍam means wide place, which means the whole earth, the whole world. agaliḍamē idamāga, I am not subject of your king, and I am not permanent, I am not a resident of your country. The whole world is my place. agaliḍamē idamāga, that means the whole world is my place. And ūrgaḻ tōṟum aṭṭu uṇbār iṭṭu uṇbār vilakkār aiyam. So I am not a householder who lives in one village or one town doing farming or other trades and living in your as a subject of your king. The whole world is my place, so I am a free person. I can go anywhere, and I am not dependent on anybody. I am not dependent on your king, because I will go from place to place. ūrgaḻ means I am going to go from place to place. Ūr is place. ūrgaḻ means every place. aṭṭu uṇbār, iṭṭu uṇbār, vilakkār aiyam. So aṭṭu uṇbār means those who eat by cooking. What does it mean? That's a phrase that means householders, right? Those who live in a house, who cook as leading a life of a grahastha, householder. And those people, the householders, they always feed the guests. iṭṭu uṇbār. Iduḍal means to give alms or to feed others. iṭṭu uṇbār. So they always eat after feeding the guest. And vilakkār aiyam. Aiyam means alms. Vilakkār means they don't refuse. So the householders never refuse to give alms. They always feed the guests before they eat. So this is the culture of India of those days. That, in the houses you would have seen, in the villages you will see that there will be in Tamil we call it Thirunai, which is like a veranda outside the house. Open platform that will be there out in the front of the house. And in those days, the travelers going from place to place, or they would sit in that open veranda outside the house to rest. And the householders, before they eat, they come outside and see if anybody is there, and they feed them before they eat. And that was the tradition. And that's what Thirunavukkarasar is referring here. In every place, ūrgaḻ, in every place, aṭṭu uṇbār, iṭṭu uṇbār. The householders will always feed the guests before they eat. And they never refuse to give alms. So what he is saying is that I am a free person. The whole world is my place. And wherever I go, the people of that place will give me food. So I am not dependent upon your king for my sustenance. And next he says, pugaliḍamāṃ ambalaṅgaḻ. Ambalam is a public space. Again, in those days, there were public spaces, whether it is halls in the temples or other public places where travelers could stay the night and go. So as part of because there were, 1,000 years ago to 1,500 years ago, there were no concept of lodges and restaurants and all that, right? So when people go on whatever travel, so the kings and everywhere, as part of the society, they were maintaining public spaces where anybody can come and take shelter for the night. Just as, if you want to compare, even in Western countries like America, in winter, when it becomes extremely cold, they have public places for shelter. So there are people who are the poor people. There are some homeless people who live on the streets. For them, they don't want to suffer. They don't want them to be suffering in the cold. So they have shelters where the people can come and take refuge from the extreme cold that exists. Like that, in those days in India, there were public halls where people could spend the night. And so he's saying there are public spaces, ambalaṅgaḻ. There are public spaces where I could take refuge for the night. Pugaliḍam is place of refuge. Ambalaṅgaḻ is public halls. So public halls are my places of refuge for the night. And பூமி தேவி உடன் கிடந்தால் puraṭṭāḻ, பொய் என்று meyyē. And when I lie down on the ground, பூமி தேவி is Mother Earth. When I lie down on Mother Earth, உடன் கிடந்தால், when I lie down on Mother Earth, puraṭṭāḻ, she will not throw me away. She will not fling me away. This is true. It is பொய் என்று meyyē means this is not false. It is true, absolutely true. Basically what he is saying is that I am a free person. I go from place to place to place. Wherever I go, the householders in that place will give alms, so I have food. And wherever I go, there are public halls where I can lie down for the night. And I can lie down on the ground and Mother Earth will not throw me away. So, I am not beholden to your king. That's the implication of all that. And then he says, why all this? இகலுடைய விடையுடையான் என்று கொண்டான். Vidai is Vrishabam. Vidai Udayan is Vrishaba Vahanan, which is Shiva, one who has the bull as this vehicle. And that, how is that bull? Igal Udaya Vidai. That means that igal means fighting, and that it can fight. So, as we know, the Vrishabam of Shiva is a symbol of Dharma, and that Vrishabam can fight because it is powerful, and it will protect the devotees. That is the implication. So the Shiva who has a bull which can fight the enemies, he has accepted me as his devotee. Endru kondan. He has accepted me as his devotee. Because of that, ini edum kuraivilōm. We no longer lack anything, because Lord Shiva has accepted me as his devotee. So he takes care of everything I need. Ini edum kuraivilōm. Kuraivu means deficiency or want, right? Ilom means we don't have. So now we no longer have any wants. Whatever we need, he gives. ūrgaḻ tīrndōm. ūrgaḻ means suffering. tīrndōm means we have got rid of. So we no longer have any suffering. We are free of all suffering. ūrgaḻ tīrndōm. துகில் உடுத்து பொன் பூண்டு திரிவார் சொல்லும் சொல் கேட்க கடவோமோ. So it's a question. It's a rhetorical question. What he's asking is, am I obligated to listen to your king's orders? That's the meaning of that phrase. Tugil uduttu. Tugil means fine clothing. The king's clothing, you can imagine, right? What kind of clothing a king will be wearing? He will be wearing the best of the clothing that one can find. So Tugil is best clothing. Tugil uduttu, wearing fine clothes. Pon pundu. Pon is gold. Pon pundu means wearing golden ornaments. Tirivar means, tiridal means to roam around, to wander about. So there are several words, and going is one, wandering is another, roaming is another, right? Wandering or roaming means moving about without any specific purpose. So he is saying the king who is wearing fine clothes and golden jewelry, who moves around pointlessly from place to place. Thirivar sollum. So that is the king, is basically describing the king as somebody who is just wearing fine clothes and jewelry and just going from place to place without really having any purpose. Such a king, sollum sol, the order that he gives, ketka kadavomo. Are we obligated to listen to them? Are we obligated to obey them? Means, I am not going to obey. And he says, Turisu aṭṭu. Turisu means blemish. And he says, we are free of blemishes. We are free of faults. Again, the implication is that if you have made something, if you have done something wrong, then you should be afraid of the king, and king has a right to punish those who have done something wrong. Here I am faultless, I am blemishless, I have done nothing wrong, and I am not dependent upon your king, because the whole world is my place, and everywhere I go people will feed me, and I stay in public places, and Mother Earth will not throw me away, and I can do all this on top of, because Shiva has accepted me as his devotee. He has got a bull that can fight enemies, and whatever I need, he gives. So I want nothing, I lack nothing, and I have no problems. And because of all this, and since I am blemishless, I don't have to listen to your king's orders. That is the gist of this second song. Any comments, questions? Okay. Yeah, I didn't see him. Yeah. So why don't you repeat the whole verse and then we can find out if he is able to join. Good. So now we will move to the third song. Again, please repeat. வாராண்ட கொங்கையர் சேர் மனையில் சேரோம் மாதேவா மாதேவா என்று வாழ்த்தி நீராண்ட புரோதாயம் ஆடப் பெற்றோம் நீரு அணியும் கோலமே நிகழப் பெற்றோம் காராண்ட மழை போல கண்ணீர் சோர கல்மனமே நன்மனமா கரையப் பெற்றோம் பாராண்டு பகடு ஏறி வருவார் சொல்லும் பணி கேட்கக் கடவோமோ பற்று அற்றோமே. So before I go into the words and meanings of the song, I just want to give a brief information about the meter. These are long songs, as I mentioned earlier. Each line has 8 sound clusters. In Tamil we call that seer, means a set of words or a set of syllables. So each line has 8 clusters of syllables, and there are 4 lines in this song. So each long line is written as 2 shorter lines on the printout. That's why you see the second line slightly indented to the right. to indicate that it is a part of the first line. And the second thing is that the pattern is a long cluster, short cluster, short cluster. That is a pattern. So in this song, if I were to say it the way it comes in the meter, வாராண்ட கொங்கையர் சேர் மனையிற் சேரோம் மாதேவா மாதேவா என்று வாழ்த்தி நீராண்ட புரோதாயம் ஆடப் பெற்றோம் நீரணியும் கோலமே நிகழப் பெற்றோம் காராண்ட மழைபோல கண்ணீர் சோர கல்மனமே நன்மனமாக் கரையப் பெற்றோம் பாராண்டு பகடேறி வருவார் சொல்லும் பணிகேட்கக் கடவோமோ பற்றற்றோமே. That's how the meter will go if you say it, together in the meter way. But in order for us to understand the words and able to pronounce them easily as we learn them, I have given the word separated, phrase separated version in our files. And in terms of the prosody, you will find the rhyming pattern in the beginning of the lines. வாராண்ட நீராண்ட காராண்ட பாராண்டு. That is a rhyming across lines. And within a line, there are places where alliteration is used. In Tamil we call it monai, in Telugu they call it yati. And varanda, for va and ma, in Tamil prosody, va and ma are considered one family for alliteration. Similarly, neeranda, neeraniyam, ni will be there. Karanda, kalmaname, ka, that is one family. Parandu, panigetka, pa, pa. So that is for the alliteration purpose. So these are prosody information, just I thought I will share so that you have an idea. Any questions or comments on the prosody aspects before we go into the song's meaning? So the first phrase, as I said, varanda is one long phrase, one long sound cluster. Kongayar ser is another cluster. Manayil serom. So long, long, short, short. That's how the meter goes in this particular one. So var anda kongayar ser manayil serom. That is one phrase. Var means, in this place it means a long narrow strip of cloth. So in those days, women used to wear a piece of cloth around their breast as a breast covering. And so that piece of cloth is also called a var. So kongai is breast. So kongayar means those who have the breast. That means women. And so what he is saying is mana is house. Serom means we don't join. Means we don't live. So the first phrase varanda kongayar ser manayil serom means I don't live in a house where women live. That means I am not a householder. Right? Householder means one who marries, one who lives in a family with women, wife and children. And this phrase, varanda kongayar ser manayil serom means we don't lead the life of a householder. I am not a householder. I am a monk. I am a sannyasi. And what else do we do? Madeva, Madeva என்று வாழ்த்தி நீராண்ட புரோதாயம் ஆடப் பெற்றோம். Madeva means Mahadeva. Maha in Tamil is Ma. So Mahadevan in Tamil will come as Madevan. So Madeva means praising Shiva as Mahadeva, Mahadeva, Hara Hara Mahadeva, right? Like that. Calling out Shiva's names. Madeva, Madeva endru Varthi. Varthidal means to praise. So praising Shiva's various names. Neeranda Purodayam Adapetrom. Purodayam is a ritual bath that they take, right? There are different kinds of bathing, right? So we do a daily normal bath is there, but we go to holy places, we take a holy dip. And similarly, in Thirunavukkarasar's story, I must have mentioned that when Thirunavukkarasar's father went to the temple tank, he made Sambandar sit on the steps. He went inside the tank, and then he, as part of his rituals, he would hold his breath, dunk under the water, inside the water, and he will chant a mantra called Ahamarshana mantra. So there's a process by which they stay under the water and then mentally recite the Ahamarshana mantra. That's one example. Like that, the Purodayam is another such ritualistic bathing process in which they say some mantras and take a bath. That's what he is referring to. Neer is water. Neeranda Purodayam Adapetram. Adugal means has several meanings. Typical meaning is to dance, but it also means to bathe. So in this case, he says, we take a holy bath early in the morning, chanting various names of Mahadeva. That's the meaning of that phrase. Mahadeva, Mahadeva endru Varthi, Neeranda Purodayam Adapetrom. So he is describing what he does, right? He is a sannyasi. He doesn't live in any household. And he worships Shiva, and he follows the daily bathing rituals which are specified for such people. And Purodayam is the name of one such thing. And then, after taking bath, what does he do? Neeru aniyam koalame nigadapetrom. Neeru is, look at the difference. Neer is water, the previous phrase. Neer is water. I think in Telugu also you have the same word, neer. Neer with a strong r, that means ash. And in thevaram you will find this word neer in many places. It will come as neer, tirunir, venneer, various adjectives. So that means neer aniyam koalame nigadapetrom. Kolam is the the form, or the I apply holy ash on my body. That's what he says. Neer aniyam. Anidal means to wear. So I wear the holy ash on my body. Neer aniyam koalame nigadapetrom. And then what happens? What else happens, or what else he does? Karanda mazhai pola kannir sora kalmaname nanmanama karayapetrom. And you look at the words and then I will tell you the full meaning. Kar means darkness. And because of the darkness, it also stands for the dark cloud. It also stands for rain. So, Karanda mazhai pola. Like the rain, mazhai is rain. So, like the rain from the dark clouds. Kannir sora. Kannir means tears, right? Kann is eye. Kannir is water from the eyes, tears. Kannir sora. Sora means flowing down, to flow. So, Karanda mazhai pola kannir sora. The eyes tearing up and pouring tears like the rain from the clouds. With such melting devotion, Kalmaname nanmanama karayapetrom. Manam is heart, mind. Kal is rock, stone. So kal maname means my stone heart, right? The stone heart or hard heart implies one who is without any devotion, one who is cruel. Kal maname, nan manama. Nan manam is, nalla means good, manam is heart. So my stone heart becoming a good heart. Karaye petrum. Karaidal means to melt, to dissolve. So my stone heart melted and became a tender heart, a good heart, by intense devotion that caused my eyes to tear up and tears trickling down my cheeks like the rain from the clouds. That's what that line means. Karanda மழை போல கண்ணீர் சோர கல்மனமே நன்மனமா கரைய பெற்றோம். Such a person is who I am. பாராண்டு பகடேறி வருவார் சொல்லும் பணி கேட்க கடவோமோ பற்றற்றோமே. பாராண்டு, par means, again in common Tamil, par means to see, but here it means the earth, the land. Parandu means, andu means ruling the land, parandu, ruling the land. Pagadiyeri, climbing on an elephant. Varuvar sollum pani ketka kadavomo. So the king, what does the king do? He rules the land and he goes around riding an elephant, royal elephant. So he is saying, I am not obligated to obey the commands of the king who rules the land and goes around riding an elephant. Parand, ruling the land. Pagadiyeri, riding an elephant. Varuvar, the one who comes, that is the king. Sollum pani, the orders that he gives. Ketka kadavomo, are we obligated to listen to them? Are we obligated to obey them? No. Puraṭṭāḻ, we are free. Patru means bond or bondage or attachment. Puraṭṭāḻ means we have no bonds, we have no attachments, we are free. So, what is saying in the essence? We have intense devotion to Shiva. We don't lead a householder's life. We get up early in the morning and do ritual baths, praising Shiva's names. We wear the holy ash on our body. With our eyes pouring tears like rain from the clouds, I worship Shiva. And because of that, my hard heart has become a very good heart. And we have no attachments, we have no bondages, we are free. Because of that, I have no obligation to listen to the orders given by the king who rules the land and rides an elephant. That's the meaning of this third song. Any questions or comments? So Rama, if you can repeat the whole verse. நிகழப் பெற்றோம். Good. So should we see one more song? What is the time limits that you have? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the fourth song. உறவு ஆவார் உருத்திர பல்கணத்தினோர்கள் உடுப்பன கோவணத்தொடு கீழ் உளவாம் அன்றே செருவாரும் செறமாட்டார் தீமைதானும் நன்மையாய்ச் சிறப்பதே பிறப்பில் செல்லோம் நரவு ஆர் பொன் இதழி நரும் தாரோன் சீரார் நமச்சிவாய சொல்ல வல்லோம் நாவால் சுரவு ஆறும் கொடியானை பொடியா கண்ட சுடர் நயன சோதியையே தொடர்பு உற்றோமே. So in the fourth song, again Thirunavukkarasar is highlighting why he is not going to listen to the king's orders, and he is describing his state. Thirunavukkarasar is describing his current state and why he is not obligated to listen to the king. So the first statement he says in this song is உறவு ஆவார் உருத்திர பல்கணத்தினோர்கள். Uruthira is Rudra. In Tamil, Ru doesn't start a word, so they have to put a vowel in front. Uruthira. So that's a Tamil form of Rudra. Pal Ganathinorgal. Ganam is Sanskritam word, means groups. Pal means many. Pala. Pal Ganathinorgal means the many groups. So Uruthira Pal Ganathinorgal means the many groups of Shiva devotees. So there are, as you know, there are different groups of Saivism, right? There are people who, as you know, in India there are different groups or categories, different regions, they may have different cultural norms, different ways of worship. So there are different groups of Shiva devotees. So there is a Kapalika. There is one group of Shiva devotees. And similarly, there are Veera Saivas. That's another group. And there are Shivacharyas in the temples. That's another group. Similarly, there is Rudra Kanigigal, the Devadasis. That's another group of Shiva devotees. So there are many different kinds of Shiva devotees. That's what he's saying. Rudra Pal Ganathinorgal means the different groups of Shiva devotees. Uravu Avar Uruthira Pal Ganathinorgal. Uravu means they are my kin. They are my relations. Avar means they are. Uravu Avar means they are my kin. They are my relations who the different groups of Shiva devotees. So the different groups of Shiva devotees are my family. They are my relations. Udupana Kovanathodu Kīl Ulavam Andre. Udupana means, Uduttal means to wear. Udupana means to wear, for wearing. What do we have? கோவணத்தோடு கீழ் உளவாம் என்று. கோவணம் means the loin cloth. The kaupiyanam is called கோவணம் in Tamil. Keel is a cloth strap that they tie around the waist, on which they attach the loin cloth. So கோவணம் and keel are the names of the loin cloth and the string that goes around the waist. உளவாம் அன்றே, we have them. So what do we wear? We wear the loin cloth, nothing else. So we have renounced everything and we are a true devotee in simple clothing. உடுப்பன கோவணத்தோடு கீழ் உளவாம் அன்றே, that's all we wear. செருவாரும் செரமாட்டார். Seruvar means enemies. Serudal means to attack, to fight. So Seruvar means those who are against us, enemies. Seruvarum Seramatar means even enemies will not attack us. Even enemies will not fight us. Means nobody will harm us. Seruvarum Seramatar தீமைதானும் நன்மையாய் சிறப்பதே. தீமை is something that is evil, something that is bad, that is தீமை. தீமைதானும் நன்மையாய். நன்மை is something that is good, something that is beneficial, something that is friendly. Right? சிறப்பதே means will become nice. So even bad things will become good to us. தீமைதானும் நன்மையாய் சிறப்பதே. Even bad things will be good to us. பிறப்பில் செல்லோம். பிறப்பு means birth. செல்லம் means we don't go. So பிறப்பில் செல்லம் means we don't go into another birth. That means I am free. I have no more births. Right? What causes the births? The births are caused by karma, and so long as you have balanced karma, you will have another birth. So what he is saying is, we have become true devotees of Shiva, and because of that, all my karma has been destroyed, and because of that, I have no more births. Pirappil allōm, and he is giving all these things, and then he is saying what else he is doing. நரவார் பொன் இதழி நறுந்தாரோன் சீரார் நமச்சிவாய சொல்ல வல்லோம் நாவால். The first part of this phrase, நரவார் பொன்னிதழி நரும் தாரோன், that means that's describing Shiva. Shiva who wears a garland of கொன்றை flowers. I have talked about கொன்றை flowers in some other padhigam as well. In many thevaram songs, this கொன்றை flower will come and Shiva will be described as wearing these கொன்றை flowers and garland of these கொன்றை flowers. It is a yellow flower that flowers in a tree. So it's a flowering tree which has lot of yellow, golden yellow flowers. And what he is saying here is Naravar Pon Idari. Idari is the word for Kondrai. And Pon Idari means golden Kondrai. Naravar means which is rich in honey, nectar and fragrance, right? The fragrant golden Kondrai flower, and that is made into a garland. Tar means garland. Taron means one who is wearing the garland. So, Naravar Ponnidari Narum Taron means Shiva who wears a fragrant garland made of nectar-rich golden kondrai flowers. That Shiva. And what is his name? What is his mantra? Namah Shivaya. And Sirar Namah Shivaya. Sirar means the special or the holy Namashivaya mantram. Solla vallōm nāvāl. Solla vallōm means we can say, means we say. Nāvāl. Na means tongue. So what is this gist of this phrase? With our tongue, we chant the holy Namashivaya mantram of Shiva, who wears golden contrary flowers. And what else has that Shiva done? Suravu ārum kodiyānai podiya kanda sudar nayana chodhi. Sodhi is Tamil form of Jyoti, which means flame, which refers to Shiva, who is the ultimate light. And what does he have? Sudar Nayana Chodhi. He has got a Nayanam which has fire in it. Nayanam is Sanskrit word, eye. Sudar means, in this place it means fire. So Shiva, in his third eye on his forehead, he can emit fire. And what did he do with that? He burnt Manmata. Suravarum kodiyānai podiya kanda sodarnayana chodhi. Suravu means it's a fish, right? The Manmata has a flag in which there is a symbol. So everyone has a flag, right? All the kings have flags, and the flags will have an icon, a symbol. So Shiva's flag will have the Vrishabha icon, the bull icon. Like that, Manmata has a flag, and on the flag he has the Makarameen, as they call it. In Tamil they call it Surameen, which is like a shark. So he has got that flag with a shark symbol. That's what he is describing it. Suravarum kodi means the flag with shark logo. And the one who has that flag is Manmata. Suravarum kodiyānai podiya kanda. Podi means ashes. Kanda means to see. So Shiva, with his third eye, looked at Manmata and burnt him to ashes. He is referring to that episode here. Suravarum kodiyānai podiya kanda sudar nayana chodhi. It is that Shiva. Sodhiye means Thodarvu utrome, means I have followed and reached that Shiva, who is the form of a flame, who with his third eye burnt the Manmata, who has the shark flag, into ashes. So that Shiva I have reached. Because of that, because I have reached that Shiva, and because I have no attachments, only the Shiva devotees are my family, I wear nothing but a loincloth. Because I don't harm anybody, even those who are inimical to me, they won't attack me. Even whatever bad things that can be there, they will all become good to me. And I will not be born again. And I always chant Shiva's name with my tongue. So that is the gist of this song. Any comments, questions, we can discuss. So in this, there are a couple of phrases as I was describing. I was reminded of a couple of synonymous phrases from Annapurnashtakam. In the Annapurnashtakam, towards the end, there is a phrase that is said, right? And that will be saying, what I was saying, the Bandava Sivabhaktasya Swadesha Bhuvanatrayam. If you remember that last line, There's a couplet, there's a phrase at the end which says that. Right? If you give me a second, I can tell you the exact word phrase there. And that phrase is Mātā cha Parvati Devi Pita Devo Maheshwaraha Bandhava Shivabhaktasya Swadesho Bhuvanatrayam. That's a last, it's like a couplet that comes at the end of Annapurnāśtakam. And the meaning of that phrase, if you look at it, Bandhava Shivabhakta. So that's what Thirunavukkarasar's first phrase in this song is. Uravu avar uruttira pal ganathinorgal. Uravu means bandhu. So that's the meaning of that. And the other phrase in that Annapurnāśtakam's last line is Swadesho Bhuvanatrayam. The three worlds are my place, right? And that's what Thirunavukkarasar's earlier song said. Agaliḍamē idamaga. The whole world is my place. So what I'm saying is, just if you think about these things, sometimes you will see parallels. It will be easier to remember and understand. Okay, so maybe you can repeat the whole verse and then we can go to the meaning. நன்மையாய் சிறப்பதே. Good. Now we will listen to the Odu are singing these three songs, and then we'll wrap up for today. So with that, we will conclude today's session, and next time we meet, we will continue with the remaining songs. Tiruchitrambalam.